We start with Drake. We could start with Drake. Drake is having some beef with like hip hop media, right? Now, obviously, it's compounded by a bunch of stuff. Like we could start back at the Genesis. I don't think this was a hip hop media versus Drake beef, but Drake and Joe Budden never really saw eye to eye. That came from their competition as rappers, then as kind of friends or people who dated the same people. Joe becomes a podcaster, starts doing well, and then his comments with Drake's music, it seemed to kind of like spark almost beef with them, right? Ultimately, if you ask me, ended up with the last part of it being right before the battle. Joe basically makes a statement about, I think it was For All the Dogs, and he says, why is Drake in his mid to late 30s singing about 20-year-olds? And he mentioned it in a way to make Drake seem kind of creepy. I spoke to Drake about it myself because at first I thought because he had responded to Joe in a lengthy comment under my comment section. And I was like, yo, is Drake kind of sensitive about critique? He said you failed at music, you left it behind to do what you're doing, this clip, because that's what I actually paid your bill. For any artist watching this, remember, you're watching a failure, give their opinion of what an idea for recipe of success is. Now, Joe was criticizing the album. So I was like, damn, why is Drake getting mad at him for criticizing the album? Turns out, and when I asked Drake, he said, it's not about what he said about the album. People, whether you like me or not, could like any song or not. But when you start summing up my album to say, oh, I'm making an album for young girls, and why am I still like, whoa, like you're making it seem like I'm you're trying to stir a narrative that's really disrespectful and really gross. Now, granted, later as he battled with Kendrick, Drake even mentions what Joe says when he was trying to, in a reverse psychology way, give some ammo to Kendrick, who didn't respond yet. He said, say that one thing about liking young girls. Just say you heard it from the Joe Budden pod. And he had said, I believe he said that in a Tupac voice or something. And, I mean, shit, if you want to suggest it, we saw Kendrick definitely double down. But that's kind of been his relationship with hip-hop media in a sense. I'm going to give my opinion of what I think, and I'm entitled to be wrong. People like Elliot Wilson, I think in the game, and again, I'm going to tell you a lot of my opinion. This ain't Drake's opinion, this is my opinion. I remember right around the time of Everyday Struggle, it still wasn't universally accepted that Drake was a rapper with all these classic albums. He was kind of like seen as a good rapper, but he's never had like a Reasonable Doubt, or they didn't want to stamp his music as just like the quintessential height of what music would be, which is classic and perfect albums. They would act like, yeah, he's like a guy who make hits. They would try to give him the Nelly treatment. No, this is the Nelly. Yeah, he makes hits, but like they wouldn't like. And if you had mentioned Drake, like say you're like, yo, what are your top 5 albums of all time? If you had mentioned Drake, people would kind of look at you like. Now, granted, that's coming from the time where people are like hip hop elitist in terms of, yeah, if you mention Nas, you're good. Rakim, you're good. You mention a God, Raekwon, like you're good. Like that shows you know hip hop. But Drake was, not so much Kanye. Kanye changed his sound. He was a pink polo backpack wearing guy. But Drake was the difference with, yo, he could really rap, but he's a singer too. And his rap isn't necessarily about street rap all the time. It's just his rap. But he's really good. So he was changing the mold. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. I remember like around 2016, 2017, I remember talking to Drake about it. And I was saying, yo, bro, I think it was 2018 maybe. I said, these albums are on, like, there's no doubt they're classics. And anybody that has a brain will say these albums of yours are classic. And he said one thing to me that really epitomized what I believe is his view of hip-hop media. He said, Ak, this is why you and a lot of you newer guys are the people I fuck with and care about. Now, what did that say to me? In one sense, you could say, well, bro, he's buttering you up because you just gave him a compliment. I took it to be something else. I don't think Drake ever rocked with the older school mentality hip-hop people who felt they were on pedestals judging hip-hop because they never really accepted him. They used to clown him. Yo, check when he went to go freestyle at Funk Flex, and obviously that was definitely hilarious. That was comedic. I'm doing donuts in Aston, Funk Flex Drake. But there was a ton of hip hop people, whether it was former artists in general, or media people, they would never give him the credit that he, I would say, desperately wanted, because he's a guy of the culture. Because they would look at him and say, you're just not enough. Where you're from? Like, if somebody be like, yo, son, I'm from Brooklyn. Like, all right, we know you can rap. Because it's like, just saying you're from Brooklyn means something. This is a light-skinned guy from Toronto that was on Degrassi. So he always felt like he was never really accepted. Again, this is my opinion. And the people who were the gatekeepers, so to speak, anytime he did something good, they would be like, but it's just too much singing. It's just too much this. They would knock him. So I think that Drake has been waiting for the changing of the guards and the times for a while. I had this conversation with him. He said he was encouraging and happy that the people who gave their opinions on music, that those people were starting to have a turnover where the new generation who he felt could identify more with his music, his style. Not everybody's going to rap like Jay-Z. It's like the niggas who like Michael Jordan. Even when LeBron James scores 120 dunks from the three-point line, they still on Michael Jordan's dick. You got to wait till them niggas die. It's like racist. You can't do nothing with them. You'll never change your mind. You got to wait till they die. I believe Drake, when it came to media, was always saying, some of these guys, no matter what I do, I drop a freestyle a month, diss AM and whatever. Yeah, they'll be like, nah, yeah, he could rap when he want, but they won't give me the credit of a true MC. So if you ask me, Drake's relationship with hip hop media, he never really liked those guys. Now, did he have to deal with them? Yes. I don't think he ever liked Elliott Wilson. I'm being honest with you. Elliott Wilson is a Jay-Z guy. Put it like this. If you talk to Elliott Wilson, he's like the guy who would like Jordan. Jay's is Jordan, and you're like some other nigga trying to be Jay. Or trying to be Jordan. That person is like Skip. You'll never get that fair or whatever. So again, when I say like, I don't think he cared to be respected by Elliott Wilson, if you ask me. Even Flex. At the first chance he got to serve it back up to Flex, even though Flex was playing a reference track of his, he did. And he did during the battle. I might have DJ Clue put some bombs on it. That was Funk Flex's thing. Now, we're at a very interesting time. And I've seen this topic go around. They said Drake is not rocking with hip hop media. And I actually beg to disagree. I think Drake don't rock with elder statesman hip hop media. Now, I'm not talking about doing interviews or whatever. I'm saying Drake don't like y'all. That's just the point. He doesn't like you. Y'all, because here's the thing. He's realized he's the A side of music. So everything y'all used to have to criticize about him or dismiss, you have to talk about him to get views. You have to talk about him to get paid. So now he realizes he's the A side. And it's like I remember trying to come in the game, right? Try to have an interview with Ebro. I've told the story many times. Ebro said, ain't you Charlamagne's boy? They wouldn't do that with me. Cool. Or it was actually, I think it was music director Carly Hustle said. They basically said, get the fuck out of here. The moment I started popping and I was the man, Who's in my email saying, yo, let's go get drinks sometimes. Yo, what's up with this? Same people. Things change when you become the A side. Drake is the A side. And you know what I keep seeing? It's the people who are the people that I think he once wanted respect from, now asking why Drake don't respect them. Yeah, Drake, I think y'all turned him wrong that he had to feel like he don't fuck with y'all. He still don't fuck with y'all now. So I think, and again, this is my opinion, not Drake's. This is mine. I think if you've been in the game as like a journalist or whatever, you think like you hip hop, he don't like you. Period. Don't like you. And it's not because he doesn't like what you do. He knew how you used to operate when he was coming up. He knew that when he dropped 50 and another person dropped 50, you wouldn't give him the same accolades for the other person dropping 50 because you would have A, B, C, D, and E to prevent you from giving him the credit because you never thought he was an actual or pure MC. You remember the time when the whole ghostwriting thing came down and all y'all basically said we can't count him as a rapper. He don't like y'all. Now, what I've realized, it's a tough pill to swallow. Listen, and pause on swallowing anything. But I know a bunch of rappers that don't like me. I've accepted it. If anything, I'll antagonize it at a point. I'll make it content. But you know what I realized? When other people find out Drake don't like them, it hurts. Which is ironic because when y'all were shitting on him when he was coming up, when y'all was heavily dick riding or criticizing either during an important, at least for him, during a battle or during previous times when he's dropping albums, y'all didn't give a fuck. But when he says he doesn't respect your opinion, it's a whole lot of shit. Anyway, I've seen Rob Markman, and yes, Rob Markman would classify under, the list of people I'm talking about. I don't think, like, I could name a lot of y'all. Drake do not like y'all at all. And it's not necessarily, and this is where I realize it's a little bit hypocritical too, because they're acting like Drake is spiraling due to the battle. No, Drake never liked you before the battle, during the battle, and after the battle. That's the thing. Y'all are media niggas. You see, me, I have learned to live in hate. Oh, I know that nigga don't like me, but I'm gonna still talk about him. Y'all are over here when Drake says something, y'all are heartbroken. I could tell. Now, I keep telling y'all there's a conundrum that's happening. A lot of these guys during, I call it, it was the stimmy era, at least for media. Drop Kendrick, Drake name, battle in a title, everybody's eating. I've seen people go from getting 300 viewers to 3,000. I see people go from getting 20,000 a video, 200,000. It was easy and everybody milked it, right? Now, here's the problem about every time you get stimulus checks. Usually, things kind of balance it out and usually go into recession. Right now, there's nothing going on in hip-hop. Nothing. So all the people who views are through the roof, just watch each and every one of them. It's came back down. You know what they're doing now? They're still trying to milk the same cow that was serving them during the battle. I'll give you an example. I never really knew Rob Markman did YouTube. And again, I really have nothing personal against Rob Markman. I'm just using an example. Rob Markman, 5,000 views. He's talking about some shit that's Ghostface. Shout out to Ghostface. 6,000 views talking about Nas. Okay. AI writing 3,000 views. You'll realize that he don't get over 10,000 views unless he talks about Drake at all. Now, this is my problem with media niggas. This is my problem. Because they will act like they're not in it for the bag. When you're talking about other shit, nobody gives a damn. When you talk about Drake, now people give a damn. So you know what happens? They either become serial haters because now it kind of pays to hate. Not saying this is Rob Markman, but I'm trying to show you why so many of this shit when it comes to media and Drake is hypocritical. Because there was a time they said Drake needs to accept his defeat, go away, he lost. And I've told y'all, all of these niggas can't stop talking about the loser. The loser is the most entertaining person to talk about. They talk about the loser every single day. You see the hypocrisy? They tell Drake he should go away, disappear, yet they talk about him every day. Why do they talk about him every day? It's the only thing that generates some clicks, views, and interest. It is what it is. So, yesterday, Drake commented on a post. The post was posted by Lil Wayne fan page. The post was an old interview of Rob Markman. Now, let me remind y'all, Drake don't like this nigga at all. Okay? And, like, you know what's so funny, too? These guys know it. Like, Drake tells them. Like, when Drake talks to them, he'll tell them, yo, dog, you're a goof. Like, your opinion is bad. You're the worst journalist. Fuck you. Fuck out of here. Like, Drake, I ain't gonna lie. When I see how Drake talk to these niggas, like, directly, it's disrespectful. Like, Drake is mad that's disrespectful. This is how Drake's talking to them. And I'm trying to tell y'all, Drake didn't like them before the battle, during the battle, or after the battle. Anyway, this is what Drake commented under. There was a Finnish lyric segment on an interview with Rob Markman and Tory, and I think it was a Lil Wayne song, but Tory was reciting it, then he tried to throw it to Rob Markman, he couldn't finish. This is what Drake said. Of course, this goof Markman couldn't finish the bar. Free Tory. Right? Now, I want to put this in perspective. I'm going to keep saying it. Drake never liked him before the battle, during the battle, and don't like him now. However, this is I'm going to show the spin. By the way, here's a clip too.
I'm on that dry kush. But when it comes to this paper, I stack bucks. You heard what I said? I can put you on your feet or put some money on your head. Life, it's not cheap. You're better off dead if you can't pay the fee. Shout out my nigga Fee. See, every nigga at the door, they'll get a key. Outside looking in. Now tell me what you see. This is about money. This is bigger than me. I told my homie, don't kill him. Bring the nigga to me. Listen, don't miss. You're fucking with the hitman. Kidnap a nigga and make him feel like a kid again.
Well, that shit crazy.
Some niggas.
Okay, so that was a moment. Rob Markman now explains. Someone do a commentary of his commentary. Here we go.
Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back. This is not a podcast. This is just my thoughts with Rob Markman. Yesterday was eventful, to say the least. I know we probably have a lot of new eyes on this channel, and welcome. And
by the way, I see someone said I wasn't making sense. This is my point. Every media nigga act like they're speaking through ethics, morals, and they're different. I keep saying I don't like the term not like us because y'all all like me. I talk about what's popular. I'll say it. I don't care if a nigga rapping his ass off. It's the best thing since sliced bread. If it's not popping, I got no interest in talking about it. But I'll admit it. These niggas act like they're usually they're soapbox niggas. Nah, man, we don't only like popular shit. We like the real shit. However, when the real shit gets no views, they resort in a clever way to disguise themselves talking about the popular shit, except they juxtapose themselves like, oh, this is what's wrong with the game. But you could ignore it. They're doing it because they're trying to generate revenue. The point is this. They're trying to do the same thing I'm doing, talking about irrelevant stuff. They just want to seem like they have morals while doing the same thing. Right? Anyway. We got
to the ones who come regularly, who subscribe, who comment regularly, who are helping me build this thing. Appreciate y'all. This is for y'all. There's a conversation, but this is for y'all. We talk about so much on this channel. Figured we speak on this too, so we're gonna run it down. Yesterday, a 2019 interview that I did with Tory Lanez got clipped and posted to a Lil Wayne fan page. It was an old show I had at Genius, for those that remember, called For the Record. I hadn't done that show since 2021, I think. Tory at the time had Chicks Take 5 out. So we talked about it. and everything else that was kind of going on with him at the time. And for that show to end most episodes, I would aim to create this fan moment, right, with an artist. Like, I would ask my guests to just rap a verse that they love, so we're turning the artist into a fan, right? Like, just kind of showing the cyclical and communal nature of this and how we're all inspired by somebody. I kind of wanted to make these things like viral breakout moments. I remember Rap City rapped Method Man All I Need. That was her favorite verse. She rapped it top to bottom. I remember Ice Cube rapped some Chuck D. I remember Corday rapped Nas. I remember he said like he was like in the first grade or something, and the teacher used to make them rap I Can or something like that. So, it was this little segment at the end where I would just ask whoever the artist was, hey, just rap your favorite verse, like what comes to mind. And, it was meant to be fun. So, Tory rapped Lil Wayne's verse from Cannon, from Dedication 2. Okay. And I was having the North Day. The producer was in my ear. I don't know what happened, but he threw me the verse. The last line, I fumbled it. My mind was somewhere else, apparently. That's the story. Big reveal, right? So, the Lil Wayne fan page that clipped the footage captioned it, me reciting Lil Wayne lyrics to my friend after a long night out. It's all fun. So a couple of people sent it to me, and we got a good laugh about it and moved on, right? Then, I was in Atlanta this weekend, and then so I'm in the airport waiting for my flight, and then I seen somewhere on social that Drake left a comment on the IG. Champagne Poppy on IG left a comment. So I go check the comment. So here's the comment. It says, of course, this goof Markman couldn't finish the bar, ... free Tory. Jokes. Like, it's just jokes. We joking now. A little bit of name calling, but we joking right now. Okay, we got jokes. I got jokes too. But you got to be careful, right? Because if I start calling him names, like, he might sue. Like, I'm just saying, you got to be careful what you say now. It's tricky, right? So
These ain't come back.
So I dropped my response because it's all jokes. It's all jokes. And then, what happens after that? It becomes a story. Starts to go viral. Different accounts posted. Everybody got their slant. People's taking sides, and you become part of this cycle. So here's my thing. And this is me again talking to the regulars on this channel, the folks who subscribe, the folks who show up in the comments, the folks who are helping me build this thing, part of my community, the monthly music club where we got our own Discord. This is for y'all. This is for every. When I speak about music here, when I speak about anything here, I usually try to lead with positivity. To the detriment, it actually pisses some people off that I'm not like more mean, right? When covering the Drake and Kendrick battle, for example, I called it like I saw it. I try to call it like I see it. Balls.
Yo. You know why this is? I like watching these things. And again, I really personally I don't have a problem with Rob Markman from what I know, but whatever, who cares? It's almost like drinking the tears of like older like commentators in hip hop. Yo, it's gonna get to a point, and I'm telling you, we're here now. Rob Markman, whatever you finna say, I don't even need to hear it. This is what you have to come to terms with. Drake don't respect your opinion about nothing hip hop, brother. That's just what it is. Elliot Wilson too. He don't like y'all. If I don't like it, and by the way, it's gonna get to a time like that with me. There's gonna be a young artist that's gonna say when I'm like, even when I give him props, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to sound like y'all. We're like, nah, I've always told positive about you, son. Some point, the new it guy is gonna pick and choose whose opinion he validates. It's kind of like LeBron or KD. They don't validate. Again, you're the people who watch you should validate your opinion, but the person you're talking about, they don't got to. LeBron, KD don't think that Stephen A. Smith is the best with basketball knowledge. They think he don't know shit. And they say it frequently. They both say it frequently. The point that a lot of these hip hop journalists don't understand. Drake don't respect your opinion. He don't even respect you, honestly. Maybe it's from some shit in the past. Maybe it's just some slights. I think it's his general demeanor to how I think he probably felt like he was hazed when he got up in the game. I'm going to keep it a beam. By a lot of y'all that felt like y'all approval was necessary for him to get to where he was. So once he got there, without y'all even giving him that cosign or whatever, I think he's telling each and every one of y'all, fuck off. And he's going to continue to disrespect y'all. So the real conversation is, what do you do as a hip-hop commentator who you believe that your journalist or your hip hop knowledge, is the crux of what you do, even more than entertainment, when the top rapper in the game doesn't respect your opinion, not necessarily only about him, and this is another thing. This ain't based around the battle. This ain't based around the battle. He just don't like you. He just don't think you know nothing about music. He probably would, I ain't gonna lie to you, he would probably take Platboy Max's opinion a little bit more serious. All right, okay, Max said it. All right, I fuck with what Max is saying. Again, this is his prerogative. So, by the way, I hear that in previous videos, which this I'm saying, it's interesting for me to watch when other people get dissed by Drake, because I'm into it with rappers all the time. Apparently, I don't know, they said in one of these videos of the past, he had a Drake thing in the background that he removed, like right here. I don't know if that's true, by the way.
And strikes. And now I may say I don't like a song. I may say I didn't like a line, or I didn't like an approach, or I didn't like a beat, or I critique things for sure. But I do it my way. I don't call anybody out their name. I don't get disrespectful. I don't make it personal. We've been covering this lawsuit. I've said openly I do not like the lawsuit, but I ain't personalizing against him. Hey, I don't like the action. Hey,
And to clarify here, just to be, 100, I think I've been I know y'all gonna say I'm lying, but I've been one of the biggest critics of Drake's music on a level of, okay, what is this? Why is this? Like, because I listen to everything. Now, have I also enjoyed probably most of the music? Of course. But I've critiqued him a lot. You get what I'm saying? I've critiqued him a shit ton. So it's not like the dude can't take no criticism. I think he looks at certain journalists or certain media people and be like, yo, these niggas want to hear Nas again, man. Tell these niggas to get the fuck out of here. Like I think he just want y'all niggas to go listen to like Wu-Tang and Nas over there in the corner while he do his shit here. And that's why I think he respects, I'm gonna lie, I think he respects people who are more current in what they fuck with. And it's kind of interesting because we're going to get into it. Drake seems to be a history stud when it comes to music because he buys up a lot of memorabilia. But I don't think he respects the opinion of anybody who comes from a different era when it comes to their thoughts about current music. It's kind of interesting. Whatever.
I didn't like the song. I didn't like that. Here's why I didn't like it. But I don't make it personal. And that's important to me because there's a lot of that type of content out there. Media personalities, dissing artists, really getting into it. Then the back and forth happens. It's actually good for business. It gets clicks. You know what I'm saying? I could also probably frame this particular video way different. Like if it was just about getting clicks, if it was just about going viral, if it was just about getting the most views, if it was just about trying to juice the moment, right? There's a bunch of different ways I can go about it. It's good for business. And I'm not judging anybody, but that's not what I want to be. That's not what I aim to be. That's not what I wanted this channel to be. Now, he lost the battle. Am I crazy for saying that? Am I wrong for saying that? Am I out of bounds? Is that such a wild opinion? He lost the battle, in my opinion. Am I crazy? And I think history will go down and say that.
You're gaslighting here, Rob Markman. You're gaslighting. I'm gonna be honest with you. His comments to you, and I'm trying to clarify. It's not because of the battle. Don't try to throw to Kendrick. He don't like you. He didn't like you before this. He don't like you. He don't like your opinions about hip hop. That's where we should take this from. There's this new thing where everybody's like, oh, no matter what Drake does, it's because of the battle. Oh, he's spiraling. If Drake, Drake has been on Instagram making duck lips and cussing people out whenever he can for the longest. He's not doing something new just because of the battle. Shit, I've been sick of the duck lips since 2012. He ain't battled Kendrick since 2020 till 12 years later. So he's the same person. Don't try to blame him saying that to you because of the battle. He don't respect your opinion and he don't like you. From that framework, we could figure out why he said that.
20 years from now, I think we'll still be saying that. Am I crazy for saying that? I think a lawsuit based on lyrics in a rap battle.
I've said the same thing about lawsuit. That's the point I'm trying to say, Chad. It's not that Drake has seen people criticize or say he lost the battle or a lawsuit and then he doesn't fuck with him. Because I've said I don't like the lawsuit either. He don't like these niggas.
Battle after a rap battle he participated in is a bad look. I think it's a bad move. I think it's bad for expression. I think it's bad for hip hop. Now, I also think I get it, man. It sucks. It sucks being on the other end of that. Like, I get it. But the lawsuit just doesn't feel like the right move. Am I crazy for that opinion? And you can go back and watch all these videos. It's basically the same tone. This is how I'm framing it. It's not with venom. It's not with hate. It's not with, like, this is not hate. We critiquing music and the art and the game that we're in and everything that surrounds it. So am I crazy for that? Nah. I told y'all last year that I received a phone call. Y'all know which phone call I'm talking about. I never really brought it up again. I just kind of left it. Like, you know, it is what it is. I never lied to y'all. But y'all could choose to believe what you want. You know what I'm saying? But I never lied to y'all. I don't get up here and lie. What do I gain from that? What do I gain from lying to y'all? It's a bunch of shit I could do to get views. And I don't do it. To go even further, when y'all come here, and again, the regulars who come here day in and day out, the A Kings who was the first to comment with the salute on every post, you know what I'm saying? The people who come here day in and day out could attest. This channel is about music or music adjacent stories. Most of the times I try to stay away from anything that isn't that. Maybe you'll find a few examples here or there. But for the most part, I stay away. And that's a choice. Again, if this was about getting views, if this was about clout or going viral, it's a ton of things I could talk about that I purposely stay away from as it relates to Drake. I never did a video about his abs.
Okay. So I think he's like trying to qualify why Drake said that to him. Again, Drake ain't tell me nothing. This is what I believe. I think Drake don't like you, Funk Flex. I don't think he like Elliot Wilson. I'm going to be honest with you. I think if you over 45, Drake don't respect your opinion. I'm going to be honest with you. I think if you over, like, I'm going to just put it out there. If you over 45 commenting on hip hop, I think Drake is probably thinking, nigga, I'm still making music for like bitches in their 20s and niggas in their early 30s, man. I don't want your old ass, like, dick riding ass of Nas and Jay-Z talking about I'm singing too much and why am I copying a Lil Yachty flow? Like, fuck out of here, nigga. Go listen to Nas or some shit, man. Leave my shit the fuck alone. I think that's what Drake really thinks. I think Drake looks at these dudes and be like, man, nobody gives a damn about what y'all say anymore, so I'm going to diss y'all at any point. That's what I think.
When that story kind of went viral, that had nothing to do with music. I didn't care. I didn't do a video about braids and if he grew his hair out, if it was a wig, if it wasn't, how fat, because I don't care about that. It wasn't about music. I didn't do this, whatever.
Somebody said that's not weird. I'm sorry I'm pausing. It's not weird because, put it like this. I'm not going to lie. The reason why I don't have certain respect for certain people in radio is that when I was trying to get in the game, they used to shit on what I was doing to say, yo, bro, you're just on the internet. Shut the fuck up. We're on radio. Then now when I get big on the internet and I see the game has changed and they're coming to the internet, yeah, I don't respect them. Of course I don't. And at any point, I'd probably be like, this fucking goof. Of course. That's the point I'm trying to make to y'all, chat. A lot of these guys that we're kind of hearing him talk about, I believe he has had a chip on his shoulder since he got in the game. And he felt that these niggas used to play him. They used to play his style. They used to play the fact that, hey, their stamp of approval could make or break him. And now he's the biggest artist. He likes to shit on him because he doesn't need him. And if anything, as by how I showed his channel, not necessarily, I'm not trying to pick on Rob Markman, they only get any attention if they talk about Drake. So of course Drake is showing the table is turned. He just shits on him all day. The only person, well, I think he even shit on Ebro. And Ebro is the only exception because Ebro runs Apple. So Ebro probably could put something in the algorithm to fuck Drake up for life. You know what I mean? Well, he runs Apple. He's a global head of hip hop at Apple, which I don't know what that means, but I imagine it includes playlists and some other shit. You don't want to mess with that guy, right? But the rest of them, like, think about the media. Which young media personality is Drake beefing with? Be honest. Just think about it. Which young media person? It's not even like you like me or not. If you went for Kendrick in the battle, he just wouldn't acknowledge you. He wouldn't acknowledge you, right? The only exception in terms of, I guess, young would be Fantana, but he been called Fantana a goof for a long time before the battle. So it wasn't like, oh, you didn't lie to people that I won, or you didn't take my side in the battle, so fuck you. He never liked Fantana from the get-go. But for the majority of these, I'm just trying to tell y'all, it's not, because the way he's going to frame this is that Drake is feeling insecure post the battle and is lashing out. My point is, Drake never, everybody Drake this and now, he never liked. He wish he could have told all y'all to suck his dick from day one, but y'all had some power in the game then, and now he feels y'all are powerless, and now he's clowning y'all. That's what it is. Just admit it.
Was popping off this weekend, the past couple of days, about the family court thing that came out. Even though you can maybe connect that to a Kendrick lyric, I truly don't know. I have enough facts to even speculate, and that's someone's family, so I didn't cover that. I didn't get up here and get in arms, or like in my feelings when, with the Bobby Altoff interview. Like, I don't care. Like, interview who you want to interview with. I actually, when he interviewed with Aiden, if you remember a couple months ago, I actually gave him props. That was when Aiden was like, oh, hip hop is dead. And then Drake was like, nah, I can never die. It's just in a weird place. I was like, yo, shout to him for not falling for that bait, because hip hop's not dead. Yeah, it's a strange time for him, I'm sure. So
now I do think that Drake's opinion in terms of how he views hip hop at this point is most likely centered around a thought that, not saying bigger than the program, but he's realizing like, yeah, there's hip hop and then there's Drake, and I'm almost as big as the entire genre. I think that's how he looks at it from like a media perspective, right? So like this conversation of, hey, and this is what I've always told you about a Drake interview type of thing, right? And there's no interviewer or no media personality. That's why you shouldn't dick ride for a fee. You shouldn't dick ride, period. But like, if you think that, oh, I'm saying this because I'm going to get that, no. And I'm okay with that too. I think that Drake shouldn't do an interview with anyone that he feels, oh, I owe you one. No, you don't. The point of an interview is that there is a purpose for both parties. If I'm sitting to interview someone, I feel my audience could be enriched by the conversation. I feel that maybe they have some audience that could come check out my platform and check out my content, and it should be a mutual thing. That's why I don't like the paid interview thing. Because the person sitting there interviewing with you should be saying, hey, I need to promote this album. Akademiks has this amount of people or this demographic. I want them to see a particular side of me that I could show. Here's the problem, and this is why when, I don't like the Bobby Altoff thing in particular. I don't like I understand, I'm going to be honest with you, I understand the XQC thing. I understand the Aiden thing. Number one, he has contracts with stake. Number two, I think Drake is trying to poach off that audience, and it's Drake. Everybody wants to poach off Drake's audience. I think Drake does look at that audience as, okay, I want to keep it young. I want to keep it. If there is no transactional benefit for Drake to do an interview with you, how could you possibly expect him to do an interview with you? Like, with all due respect, I do think he would do a fabulous interview, Elliot Wilson. But there is no benefit for Drake to do an interview with Elliot Wilson. And the primary reason here is platform. Personally, I think that if I was averaging 100,000 people watching me every time, Drake would have been on the stream like 6ix9ine every day, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? But it's a there is like this idea that like y'all think y'all are friends, or this idea like, oh, homie, you owe me one. Like, you better get your money. The only thing that's owed to you is the paycheck you're going to eventually cash in. So you got to figure it out that way. But there has to be a beneficial transaction for someone to want to be on your platform. I do believe. So I understand. Again, I'm not saying, by the way, I don't think it's, if I'm Drake, I wouldn't do it at this point. Because certainly, like, he has to read the room too. He has to read the room. But in terms of like, I know some people be like, Drake got to do something with it. Drake don't got to give me a motherfucking thing. And I don't got to give him anything. Right? But the Bobby Alto thing is different because I look at her because I'm like, he's making her career. That's the only thing. He's making her career. If there's not a bigger business play he's doing, it just feels stupid to me. That's it. Not necessarily because she's not in the culture. He's literally he's giving somebody a career at a time that I think that his career should be about making sure his career looks untouched and unblemished. Anyway.
So I get it.
I played a couple
I commented on that restraint that he had. I actually shot him bail on that one. But whatever. That's not even the point. That's not here or there. It's that if it's not about the music, I don't even dive into that. You know what I'm saying? And so I say all of that to y'all to say this. That won't change. For me, that won't change. When you get to a certain age, when you have a certain number of years under your belt, like I'm 20 years into this, 20 plus years, you got to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? Know yourself. It's about being comfortable being who you are. And I'm comfortable being me. I'm comfortable with the decisions that I make. I know who I am. And this is me. You know what I'm saying? And you may see moments when I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this new YouTube streamer world for sure.
Yeah, and by the way, shout out to, again, despite what I said, I'm telling you what I think is Drake's demeanor. Shout out to everybody in media. The point is, y'all got to build y'all platforms up to really compete in this new space. And also, y'all got to get to, because a lot of times they used to hide behind a bigger brand. When I hear about Rob Markman, I used to think about Rap Genius, right? Now, if you're Rob Markman, the personality, you're going to have rappers tell you, fuck you, nigga. I don't like your opinion, and I think you don't know jack shit about music, and you're going to have to take that and keep it going. And it is what it is. Anyway, enough. Speaking of which, am I messing